Greetings and welcome to week 10. This week we're making a shift in our focus from theory, which we dealt with for the first 9 weeks of the class, to now looking at how the theory and the theoretical lenses that we studied in those first 9 weeks, how it applies to real world problems. And so the next 7 weeks are going to be specifically focused on problems that the international community faces and how best to go about solving those problems. To that end, we are going to begin with a 4-week study of the Millennium Development Goals. Created in 2000 by the United Nations and signed by 189 heads of state, the Millennium Development Goals set 8 specific goals to reach by 2015. We are 5 years away from that point. And so this week we are going to spend time looking at the first 2 Millennium Development Goals. Millennium Development Goal number 1, which is to eradicate poverty and extreme poverty and hunger, and then Millennium Development Goal number 2, which is to provide primary education for every child in the world. So those are the 2 goals, and that's what our content is going to focus on for the week. The international affair, the current event that we're going to deal with this week, is Darfur. And Darfur fits in really quite well with the first 2 Millennium Development Goals, because many of the problems that have arisen in Darfur and the violence that has occurred have their roots in poverty, extreme poverty, hunger, lack of resources, and in a struggle for land. So we're going to look at how the international community is dealing with poverty, hunger, lack of education through the Millennium Development Goals, and then we'll spend a considerable amount of time looking at Darfur and how the international community has dealt with or not with the situation, the genocide in Darfur. We'll spend some time also talking about national interest and how is it in the national interest of a country like Brazil or a country like the United States to provide aid and to assist people who live thousands of miles away, who have no connection with the United States or with Brazil. How is it in the United States' interest to provide a tremendous amount of aid? How is it in Brazil's national interest to provide a tremendous amount of aid to those less fortunate? What responsibility do we have as individuals, but also do states have, especially the wealthy states, in making the lives of those less fortunate, the powerless in many situations, better? And so, as we go through the week, we're going to continually wrestle with that idea of national interest and how our national interests in the more developed world are met by helping those in the less developed world. So, first thing, Millennium Development Goals 1 and 2 are our content area. Second thing, our current affair, is Darfur. And those 2 areas are so intertwined and they fit very nicely together. Third, we're going to continue our study of geography with the 29 countries of Northern Africa. The map is up under your assignments section of the webpage, as well as the list with the 29 countries that you need to know for Northern Africa. Looking forward, next week we will do Southern Africa, then Southeast Asia, then the Far East, and then we are done with our study of world geography. Also, this week you will be receiving your grades for, if you have not already, you'll be receiving your grades for the entire first semester. This is an interesting time because we can see the end of the tunnel. We can see the top of the mountain. We're in the 4th quarter, at least in Brazil here we're in the 4th quarter, and I'm sure in New Wilmington you're reaching that point, and so the year is drawing to a close. And what I would say is that please continue to work. The next 7 weeks are going to use the theory that we learned in the first 9 weeks to discuss and to consider how we solve the problems that face our world. And so the last 7 weeks are as important, or I would even argue more important, than the first 9. So please continue the struggle. This week, hopefully, will shake you, and I write in your opening note, will shake you to your core in a way. You are going to see things this week that are disturbing. You are going to read statistics that are disturbing, and the human cost of a lack of education, of poverty, of hunger, of extreme violence, of genocide, really should strike, I hope, at your humanity in a way, and make you think about your role in our world and what you need to do to make yourself comfortable with the world that we live in and your place in it. And so, as we go forward, I hope that reflection is a big part of this week and really the next 3 after that as we head through the Millennium Development Goals. The final thing that I'll say is that through these weeks you're going to see a number of my classmates who will serve as guest speakers, my classmates from the Fletcher School. And these are people who are extraordinary in the lengths that they have gone in their lives to help those who can't help themselves. Whether you're talking about a woman who walks into villages in India where everybody is illiterate, and she tries to teach them the importance of taking care of their bodies, or teaching women about reproductive health, about a man who tries to eradicate polio all over the world, and who many times has put his life on the line in places like the Sudan, like Somalia, really risked his life to help children. About a man who spends his life trying to eradicate AIDS in East Africa. And so you're going to see people who are friends of mine, but also for me, and hopefully for you, they are our role models, and people that I look to for hope, and that show me that the world can improve and that we can make it a better place, if only a little bit. So that is week 10. Enjoy, keep pushing in these final weeks. Thank you for your participation and all the hard work that you do. Have a good week, and I'll see you online.